Hi everybody, welcome to week 7. Now, before we begin, I want to give you guys a few key pointers here because some of the things that you need to know throughout this, number one, is that if you have questions throughout this course, the only way to actually get the help you need is to make sure that myself or one of the other coaches can specifically help you. The only way for us to actually help you is if you're taking advantage of the services that we're providing to actually help men get a hold of their masculinity and on their dating. The first thing you need to be aware of is in the bottom right-hand corner, there's going to be an intercom live chat. You can communicate with me or potentially one of the other coaches at any time. We check this multiple times a day so that way you can have success. The next thing is this. You have to hop into those weekly webinar Q&As because those weekly webinar Q&As that we're giving you is going to be prime to your success. You get those links by going up to the top and joining the Facebook group. And when you join that Facebook group, what happens is you're going to get notified every single time we're about to go live for that Q&A. That way you can enter into that web room. You get a chance to have one-on-one time with me or potentially one of the other coaches. So I wanted to address that because you have to get the one-on-one touch with this course. If you're not able to talk to a human and you just obtain the information, you may get some success. Really, you might. But guess what? Your success is going to be amplified the second that you take that coaching to the next level. Next, what is this week surrounding? This week is surrounding, in general, relationships and how women will actually have preference in guys who they sleep with versus who they want to settle down with. Now, the whole premise of this week is to understand one thing and one thing only. And the fact is that women are like cats. Here's what I mean by this. If you take 5 cats and you put 5 balls of yarn down, each ball of yarn is a different color. Let's say one cat goes and plays with the orange ball of yarn. And there's 4 more cats and there's 4 more balls of yarn, one for each of them. The fact is that because this one cat went to the orange ball of yarn, all 4 other cats are going to go gravitate to that one orange ball of yarn. Why is that? Because now that orange ball of yarn has more perceived value. There's more desire internally in those cats because somebody already wants it. There's another cat that already wants that orange ball of yarn. The whole goal of this is that if you want a relationship with a woman, you cannot be anything but the orange ball of yarn. If one woman wants you, chances are they all want you. You have to learn how to act the correct way. And not only that, you have to get the women to want you. You can't be the one chasing and the one constantly pursuing. You have to understand how to go about this from the right frame and the right perspective. That's what this week is about. Tune in, and I look forward to you obtaining this information. Hi everybody, welcome to one of the most important modules in Blueprint. This is one of the most important weeks, if not, compared to week 1, okay, so week 1 is the most important week. This is probably the next most important week when it comes to hardcore tactics and what to do and how to navigate. Now, I know that there's a lot of men out there that want a relationship. There's going to be a lot of men out there that want to make sure that they can get a relationship. There's going to be men out there that want love. I'm right there with you. There comes a point in every man's life when he crosses that woman that he wants for commitment. However, here's the problem. Every single time he often wants it, he cannot get it and she pulls back and she causes him massive heartbreak. Here's why. Men and exclusive relationships, here's what happens. Most men try to pursue to lock her down. Okay, they want to lock her down specifically. And most men do this because they fear her walking away. So what they think to themselves is they think, oh, if I could just get some commitment, if I could get her to commit to me and me only, now I can feel safe, now I can feel secure. And most men try to build this commitment by spending more time with her. They think that the more time they spend with her, the more that she knows he likes him. The more that she knows that she's loved by him, he oftentimes thinks that that's going to raise her attraction and that's going to get her interested. I do not want you to do any of these. Okay, none of this is correlated to her loving you. None of it at all. What makes logical sense in your brain does not make logical sense between her legs. And what's between her legs is oftentimes really going to control how she feels about you. So don't do any of these things because it's not going to help. Now, I want you to take days or weeks off from seeing her, especially if this is a woman you want to see. Because if this is a woman you want for commitment, we need her to try to be making sure that that she's trying to lock you down, not you trying to lock her down. By you taking days or weeks off from her, this is going to drive her fucking insane. Especially if you guys have some chemistry and some bond. What I essentially want you to do is I need you to be inconsistent as hell. So she has an emotional attachment to you. Remember, you have to make yourself like a drug. By you taking days off from seeing her or weeks off from seeing her or being MIA for a few hours with your friends before you text her back or anything like that, what that's going to do is it's going to drive her insane. And let's say she tries to get you to hang out consistently and you're always busy or something like that for a week at a time. It's going to drive her insane to where she's going to be wondering what you're doing and what you're up to. Now, this is going to help build that emotional attachment that she has to you, especially if you guys have chemistry and have been seeing you for a while. So I need you guys to be so focused on yourself and your purpose that she fights for your time. This is beyond important. She needs to be the one fighting for your time. You're on your purpose. You have your values. You also probably have other men that you want to hang out with that are your friends. You also potentially have other women. She needs to be the one trying to lock down the bad boy, and men need to start to do this to actually get their balls back. This will drive her insane. Okay, if you're the guy that she can't get, it's going to drive her up the wall because she's going to be sitting there wondering, why is every other guy so compliant? Why does every other guy do exactly what she wants? So what this is meant for is this is meant for a slight tactic. Yes, this is a specific tactic. Because as you get your balls back and you take this time off from seeing her, she's going to be sitting there questioning, is there somebody else? Is there somebody higher value than her? And the typical men who pursue for a woman to commit to him, and I put barf because this is just disgusting that I even have to read that, men should not be trying to get a specific woman to commit to him. Like point blank period. This needs to be her trying to get you to commit to her, not her trying to commit to you. This is feminine behavior. This goes against his natural male masculine role. And when you try to get women to commit to you, this goes against anything masculine. Why is she the prize? Why is she the one you're trying to lock down? And this essentially puts her in the role of being higher value from the get-go, and it shows that you need her. You're in love with her so deep that you need her and want her to be your counterpart. This shows weakness. Women oftentimes only want the guy that doesn't want them. And this essentially just turns women off. Okay, it's her job to try to lock down the beast. Just like Beauty and the Beast when we talked about earlier, it's her job to lock down the bad boy. It is not your job. It's not your job to try to get the queen to commit to you. Okay, the queen should be trying to fight for the king because the king is the fucking royal up top. Now, when I say barf, just read this over a few times. Oh, I can't get her to commit to me. She won't commit to me. She's not my girlfriend. Dude, you sound weak. You sound soft. You sound feminine. She is soft. She is weak. She is feminine. She should be needing you. Men have this totally backwards. Now, here's the deal. Here's the truth. Men who want exclusivity oftentimes come off feminine. And men need to be chasing excellence, not women. And guess what? The more you chase and need her, the more she runs. And this is why men who oftentimes want relationships never get one. And the man who can fuck 100 women a year, yes, I did just say that, oftentimes has girls chasing him 24/7 all day. All day he has women trying to flood him to get to him. Yet this guy who wants some exclusivity never gets it. This guy that's flooded in the pussy has women chasing him left and right. Now, it makes the man just come off weak and emotional, and this is essentially the same as a woman coming off brash and masculine. You would be equally as turned off. So I need you guys to stop aligning with female behavior. Men who pursue for relationships are going into female behavior. That is girly. That is feminine. You do not need a girlfriend. When you act strong and masculine and able, you will naturally just get a girlfriend because you're acting like a man. Now, what this does is this signals low options, and low options signals low value, and this is not good. Because women essentially just want what other women want. Okay, they're like cats. If one cat wants you, if one cat wants that juicy ball of yarn, even if there's 4 other balls of yarn there, that one cat's going to want that one ball of yarn, just like all the other cats. They only want what the other wants. And this is why the player wins, because there's higher perceived value with the player. When the player has 100 girls trying to suck his dick, what that signals to the other women is that signals, hey, this man is pre-selected. This man has a higher perceived value. If Becky and Sally and Susie and Kayla and Sarah and Jessica all want to fuck Thomas, well, Thomas is just like the player that wins then, because women only see the value to men that are the pre-selected. Which means you need to be the guy that has that arrogant swag to you. You're only going to develop this trait by putting in the work, by turning into a badass. And you staying masculine equals never pushing for anything serious. Never. You can't push for anything serious. You gotta let women do that. Let the women push for the relationship. And fellas, you gotta realize they're better at it anyways. Like, her natural feminine role is to snuggle up and be sweet to her king. They're better at it. That's why the comforting, like, soothing, soft sound of a mother trying to hug like a kid who just fell off of his bike. Like, women are naturally just more better at doing woman type shit. And even if you want her exclusivity, I need you guys to never say that or show it. Because inconsistency is the one thing that keeps her head spinning. Remember, she doesn't want you, she wants your validation. So all relationships need to be her idea. It needs to be her trying to constantly say the words, hey, so where do you see this going? Hey, do you think we can be exclusive? Hey, do you think we're a good fit to date? Those words need to be coming from her mouth specifically, because this keeps her feminine and this keeps her submissive. Because you have to realize women don't want to be the prize. They want to look up to an absolute giant. It's just like Beauty and the Beast. She wants her beast. And being the prize means that you are high value and she has to work to lock you down. Women love a challenge and are addicted to it. If you're not a challenge, if you're not a project for her to take on, she oftentimes doesn't want to fuck with you at all. You got to understand, women are backwards. They don't want the easy option. They want the man that's pre-selected. So having her work to get you is a major key. It makes her actually fight to lock you down. It makes her fight to keep that intimate touch. And if you have sex with her, my one key thing I need to know is you can't go weak instantly. Like all the other men. All of the other men will go weak right after sex. They're going to get addicted to the pussy. They're going to say, hey, can you now be my girlfriend? Hey, we had sex. I'm really into you. Or they're going to go, oh, my head's just spinning. I'm so in love with her. You can't do this. If you decide to make the leap of faith and have premarital sex, you can't let this get into your head. Because if you do that, she sees now that you're just a man that goes weak instantly when you get sex. And now it shows that you're not in love with her, you're in love with her sex, which is exactly what all of the other men do. So just stop being like all of the other men. If you want an exclusive relationship, it has to be her trying to pursue you down. This is the high-level overview. Hi everybody, so what you're going to learn in this module is you're going to learn that women categorize men. And there's 2 types of men out there. There's going to be the men that give her cues for sex and to be a lover. And there's going to be men out there that gives her cues for provisioning to settle down. This first type of man that we're going to be talking about is the alpha. This is the alpha male. This is the guy who she wants to have sex with. This has nothing to do with his status or his finances or his provisioning or how smart he is. This is just the all-around guy that she wants to fuck. Basically, this is the strong, dominant, cocky asshole. You can call it what you wish. This is the guy that just makes her wet. This may be the big raging drunk at the bar that just doesn't give a fuck and will just ask women for sex on the spot. This could be the douchebag at the frat party that tries to pull and hit on every girl. Like, women love the player. They will all say that they hate the player, but the player is the one that makes them wet. The player is the one that they can get sexually intimidated by. And when they have that sexual intimidation, what it shows is that he's willing to impose his will on her verbally or mentally. Not physically until she consents, obviously, but this is a guy that makes her wet. Now, this man only typically wants sex. And guess what? She's very okay with that, but she's just okay with it with him. Many men don't understand this. Like, there's certain men out there that women are just going to fuck right away. Just like there's certain women out there you would probably just fuck right away. What you have to remember is this man will get her best sex. This man will get her best sex, period. Because this man is actually able to unlock the freaky things that most men can't. Essentially, he just does it for her. When I say he'll unlock the freaky things, this is where women will gargle your cum. This is where women will suck your dick for 4 hours straight. This is where women will let you put it in her ass. Like, this is the type of girl that, or this is the guy that will make women want to bring out toys during sex. This guy just does it for her. And she can let go with him and fully submit. You got to realize this is what she wants. She wants at times to be like the porn star that can just lay back and let go and let him totally just fuck the shit out of her. This is the man that is the alpha. Not every man has this in him. You can learn how to have more of these traits, but you got to realize women categorize men. Now, he gets this even if they are not exclusive. This is another hard pill to swallow for most men. The very hard pill to swallow is going to be this specifically, is that she doesn't necessarily want to date these guys. She maybe just wants to hook up and have fun with them. And for a lot of men out there that think women are princesses and sweet angels, you have this sorely mistaken, because women will oftentimes go out with the agenda to fuck a guy. Just like many times men have the agenda to go out and fuck a woman, women are the exact same. Now, you got to realize women categorize these men and they use men for different things. There's two sides to a woman. There's the alpha that gives her the cues for sex. This is the bad boy. This is the boy that just doesn't care and wants to bang her. And there's the provider that she usually settles down with. This is the guy who she can go have coffee with on a Sunday morning and they can just talk for hours and it seems like they have amazing chemistry. Now, this guy who gives her cues for sex, they might not have any chemistry. He might just be really hot in her eyes. He maybe is just very sexy and she wants to fuck him. You have to start to swallow these bitter truths a little bit. Now, the alpha type will always get her best sex. And the reason why he gets it is because she's sexually drawn to him. Just like you're probably specifically drawn to Victoria's Secret models. Like, here's the thing. If you go to a Victoria... If you type in Victoria's Secret models, right? The thing is that if men have these types of women, oftentimes, like, let's say you have this girl right here in front of you. Whether you're religious, whether you're non-religious, it's going to be extremely hard to turn down this woman. She might have a terrible personality, but she's just hot. Okay, that's how it is with men. With men, there's certain men that just have it. There's certain men that have that look more. There's certain men that she's just more drawn to. And since she's more drawn to him, she will just fuck him and she's going to get her best sex. It has nothing to do with chemistry or flirtation. This is just the guy she wants to fuck. Now, here's what some of the characteristics. He's probably ripped. He probably has a good body, or he's very strong, or he's cocky, or he's arrogant, or he just doesn't give a fuck. Or this is a big one. He's comfortable with his sexuality. He's comfortable with accepting that he's a sexual person and he wants to have sex with women. And he knows that women want to have sex with him. So he's comfortable with just progressing the entire conversation to sex. And he may not have a pot to piss in, he may not have a dime to his name, and she will still fuck him. Why is that? Because he has all of the symbols that represent masculinity. Strong and dominant and cocky. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his money. He doesn't care about the social norms. He doesn't care what other people think of him. He doesn't care about his perceived value. He just wants to fuck. And he may not have a pot to piss in, but why do women love this type of guy? Because women love danger. This might be the asshole that gets into all the bar fights. I mean, women are just drawn to dangerous, disagreeable men. That's what they love. That's what gets their pussy hot. Because you got to ask yourself, have you ever seen a thug or a gangster or a pimp without women? The answer is no. Why is that? Because women love these type of men that will just be completely comfortable with their sexuality. Now, this is also the guy that she is a bad girl for. And guess what? She will suck him, she will fuck him, she will come for him, and she will basically just call this guy daddy. She'll basically do anything that he asks. Any position, any toy for any duration of time. You have to stop living in this fantasy. You have to stop living in the fantasy that all women are nice. You have to stop living in the fantasy that women are not sexual, because women are often not hard to get. The truth is that they are cheap and easy. And like, notice my voice even when I say this. Like, yeah, they're cheap and easy. Like, you can tell I have some edge to me where I don't really care what women think about me. I don't care what men think about me. Like, when I say they're cheap and easy, it's true. If you can just seduce a woman, she'll oftentimes have sex with you. This is not very hard. And for a lot of you guys that are lover boys struggling with getting women, it's because you're just that. You're a lover boy that is stuck trying to get women. Like, you turn yourself into a badass who no longer cares about women. All of a sudden, you have women knocking at your door. Now, while the good guy had to wait 16 dates to get basically her just to like touch his dick or maybe a peck on the cheek. You know, maybe I'll censor myself here. We'll change this to a peck on cheek. Well, the good guy had to wait 16 dates to get her to get a peck on the cheek. She fucked the bad boy after just 15 minutes of meeting. They met at the club or the bar. He basically said, I wanted to fuck your brains out. Let's get back to my apartment. And she left. And she fucked him. And it was probably great and she loved it. And while the good guy has to go to 4 steak dinners and 18 dates and 2 movie dates, and now he's going to work up the courage to kiss her, like, she was just busy fucking the other guy like right away when he wanted it. Now, you need to learn how to seduce a woman or she will be craving that edge. There is nothing that you can't skip this part. There's a lot of guys that want to beat around the bush and they will blame a lot of things like religion, or they'll say it goes against my moral ethics or anything like that, and that's great. But the problem is that all women are still hardwired to this guy. So you better be damn sure you have this capability. Because the bad boy has no shame with sex, and often he gives her that rush of excitement. If you can't do that, she's going to be craving that from someone else. I hope you realize this. Women are all the same. And women are so emotional, she craves that bad boy day and night. Oftentimes she just can't find him because right now they're few and far between. So sex with him, this bad boy, this is supposed to be comfortable. Sex with him is just comfortable because he has no filter and she can just let go. So when I say let go, she wants to assume the submissive position. She wants him to be dominant. And this is why I tell you guys, you have to be brutally honest and raw with women because it turns them on. Raw plus authentic equals sex. This is why oftentimes I will speak my mind. I will say whatever I want. I'm willing to offend. If I think she's weird, I'm going to say she's weird. If I think she's fucking hot and I'm ready to go back to my apartment, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. Because that's what masculinity is. Masculinity is you fighting for what you want and you getting what you want and you making the sacrifices until you are the type of man that you want to be. And this is why I tell you guys to just say whatever the hell you want. There's so many guys, they filter themselves. They go, oh, on the initial approach, should I say this? Should I say this? It's like, bro, who gives a fuck? If she can tell you don't care and you're generously going up there because you want her, and she can tell you're comfortable with turning that on and wanting her, that is all that matters. And she loves the asshole or the total prick because he's dominant and he does not care. He's assertive and he gets what he wants. And since he gets what he wants, she finds that sexy. This is a guy that will approach her even if she's with all of her friends. This is a guy that will approach her even if she's with her parents. This is a guy that will do whatever he wants because he realizes he's not going to go to jail and he's not going to die. Now, when he takes total control, she's hooked like a drug. She remains in the feminine, submissive position because he does not need to please her. He's worried about pleasing himself. And she thinks it's hot as hell. And since this guy does all of these things right, where he's just literally on the lookout for himself, he wants to connect with the hottest, baddest women, and this is all he cares about, you gotta realize she probably doesn't want to settle down with this guy, but she definitely wants to have sex with him. Everything in her brain and her ovaries is screaming, you need to fuck this guy because he's pre-selected and women want him. End of module. This is the alpha. Hi, everybody. This is the second type of man when it comes to the man that she's attracted to. This is not the alpha bad boy lover. This is the man that gives her the cues to settle down and to date. Now, the man who gives her the cues to settle down and date, this is a very different type of man. This is the provider type of man. And this is oftentimes the man who's a safe bet for her. Why is he a safe bet with her? Because this man plays with her emotions less than the alpha. You got to realize women are emotional creatures. And this is why oftentimes in their younger years, women will always fuck the bad boys, and then when they get older, they want to settle down with a good guy. Why is this? Because she realizes when her clock is limited that her emotions can't take it anymore. So the guy that she often dates is not the guy who she's most sexually attracted to. Now, she sees good in him. Really, she does. She thinks he's a good guy. However, he's often punished for it sexually. Let me explain. She will fuck the asshole in 20 minutes, but she will make this other guy wait a month before she'll let him fuck her. And she will say that he is quote-unquote boyfriend material just to make him wait. She will make him wait specifically because she wants to trick this man into thinking that she's a good girl. And she does this to appear high value. And she wants to do this like she appears like she doesn't sleep around a lot. And this type of man often doesn't understand logically why he's a better fit in terms of a partner for her, but he has to wait for sex. And we've all probably been there at one point or another when a woman just doesn't necessarily categorize us the right way that we would like. And like I said, women are fucking backwards. You would think that the alpha is the loser that she doesn't want at all, and that this is the type of guy that's going to get her sexually aroused because he's nice and he's good and he's sweet and he's safe. Doesn't work like that. They're backwards. Now, this man that's the provider type is probably very financially stable, and he's probably financially there, and he's mentally stable. Okay, he's probably a good man. And it shows that he's competent and that he has real world value. So he may have money. He may be like the quote unquote the dad type or the old soul, the guy who's really just laid back and very nice and likes to appreciate his time and isn't very sex focused. He may have provisioning power and past success, whether that be in his business or that be just how people treat him. And she's attracted to him because when it comes to child potential and breeding, he is safe. You got to realize that she categorized him as the type of man that would probably stick around if kids were involved. And this man would probably not leave if she had kids with him. So she's attracted to his potential. She's not necessarily sexually attracted to his desire. She doesn't have a lot of desire for this type of man, but she's attracted because this man shows some potential in her future. Notice, this is all about what you can do for her. Women are very self-centered. Now, this man often wants love. This man doesn't necessarily want sex. And he's not the fuckboy alpha type. He has real world potential. Like he has real world, he's a good guy when it comes to business, or he's a good guy when it comes to being a potential father figure. And I'm not putting this man down either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting this type of man down. I'm just showing you how women will treat each man differently. They will treat each man completely different. Well, one guy will have to wait 10 dates, even though, let's say, he's in shape and, he makes good money, because she's trying to lock him down and give the idea and the notion that she's a good girl to him. But meanwhile, the dude at the club on a Saturday night 2 days later, let's say he took her out on Thursday, there's a very good chance she'll just hook up with a Joe Blow that doesn't give a fuck within 15 minutes. This is how women are. And this man oftentimes as well thinks that women are all sweet angels. Okay, I'm going to give you a story. Now, here's the story that I have. I've gotten very good with women over the years. So, we're going to just make up a name. I picked the name Marcus. Okay? So, here's me, and here's Marcus. And Marcus is fake, so don't try to go think that Marcus is somebody I know or someone I follow on Instagram. If you want to go creep my stuff, you ain't going to find no Marcus. Marcus had a girlfriend. And Marcus's girlfriend was very hot. She was quote-unquote what I like to say fire. She had a fat ass, she was short, she had nice tits, she had a great smile. I was very attracted to her and I wanted to have sex with her. Let's call her Kayla. This is a fake name, by the way. So the thing is that Marcus had to
literally chased down Kayla for 4 months. And in that time, she didn't sleep with him once. And she then dated Marcus for literally 2 years. Okay? So Marcus, notice, Marcus got her to be the girlfriend, or excuse me. This should be on my side. Oh, this could be on either side. Anyways, she was a very hot woman, and that was Marcus's girl. He chased her for 4 months, and he got her into a 2-year relationship. She eventually left. Okay, so Marcus then is out of the fucking picture. I see her at a house party, and while Marcus had to wait 4 months, I pulled her that night. One night, I just left with her. And because she was so hot and I was very direct with my intention, like I was giving her the eyes, we were talking within 20, 30 seconds, I was making out with her. And then from there, we left. So this is supposed to say direct. Notice I'm not the best speller. Okay, well, Marcus had to wait 4 months. She fucked me within 30 minutes. And not only that, I'm going to tell you guys this because this is how women are. She fucked me until 5 a.m. And she did everything I could have possibly imagined. And while he was in this 2-year relationship with her and probably didn't get to do any of this stuff, I got to do it all within one night. This is women for you. That's the truth. That's how women are. That's how women always will be. And that's just the cold hard truth, you guys. You gotta figure out that they're not all sweet angels. So understand that this man who's the provider for her, this man oftentimes has transactional sex. It's what he can do for her or what he can provide for her in return for her intimacy. And there's less desire here. There's less desire here than with the bad boy. The bad boy gets her pussy wet. This type of guy just has potential and she doesn't want to leave him because of that. So essentially, he trades his value for her vagina. And this is the trap a lot of men get into, is they go after women that don't have a lot of desire for them. What you guys have to do is you guys have to find equal. You have to find women that also have that desire for you that you have for them. Now, she is not nearly as attracted to him compared to the bad boy, but she will settle down with him because he's a safe bet. You have to understand that when it makes sense in a woman's head logically to stay with you, what's going to happen is that she'll settle down oftentimes, but that's not to say she doesn't crave the bad boy. So let me explain settle down, because this is a term I don't really necessarily like. And if you guys use the word settle down, then you have to really make sure what you're saying here. Because if you look at you look at this in two parts. You look up the word settle, and then you look up the word like down in the dictionary. And I'm not actually going to look up these on Google, but let's just use our common fucking sense here because we're all grown adults. The word settle means to agree. If you settled, you came to an agreement. You made a logical agreement to stop. We settled and we stopped. If it's a fight with a man, he goes, we're going to settle this once and for all. We're going to stop the fighting. We're going to stop whatever it is. We're making an agreement that we're settling, that we're stopping this. We're agreeing. If you settle down, this means that you agree down. You agree down a caliber, meaning that you went down in rank. If she wanted the man who's a 10 and she settled, she agreed down, that means she agreed down to the man who's a 6. You got to realize that if that happens, she doesn't have as much desire for the 6 as she does in the fantasy land in her head, which means she will always crave the bad boy 10. You have to understand this. Settle down essentially just means that you're going down. Settle down. You settled, you came to an agreement, and she settled down with you. She didn't settle up, she settled down. I want to make sure that if you guys do settle, I want to make sure that you guys settle up, because I want her to have that desire for you. I hate the term settle down because that's what it says. And this man oftentimes gets burned in the long run. He gets burned because she still craves the bad boy. So this is why you see women often act as sluts in their younger years, and then what they're going to do is they're going to just settle down with the provider type later when they age. And why is that? It's because they realize their time's limited. Their beauty can no longer attract him. Their beauty is no longer good enough to get this type of man, which means they're in a sense, they're used women. They're women that are using you because they see the potential in you. Now, this man also thinks that transactional sex is okay because he's the provider type. And some men are okay with this, but I'm not. Like, I want my woman to have burning hot desire in her vagina for me. If she doesn't have that, I want a different woman. Either that or I got to carry myself a better way so she has it. And women often pull back and play games with this type of guy in their 20s, and then they come racing down to lock him down in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. I do not want you to fall for this trap. You got to notice this is all part of her agenda. Her agenda is sleep around and fuck around and have fun in her 20s with all of her friends and take shots of tequila and think that her shit don't stink. And then she hits the wall around age 30. And from there in her 30s, 40s, and 50s, she's going, oh no, I need a good guy. I need a provider. And then guess what? Eventually, sometimes in the marriage, she cheats on him or pulls back or plays games, and it's all a trap. This is part of her agenda. It's a dual-edged sword. One part of it is telling her to fuck and have fun. The next part of it is telling her to settle down so she's protected. So as you see, women really only look out for themselves. And that's what you probably notice. And because men love women, women will only love value. I want this to be the end slide, and I want this to sink in. Men love women. Men love women for her beauty and how she carries herself. Women only love value. If you're a valuable male and you have your shit together, now she's going to show you the love and she's going to want to settle down. We don't fall for that. We don't fall for that because we know women will just screw the bad boy, which is why I need you guys being a full stack man. You need to be the type of man that can seduce, and you need to be the type of man that has your shit together. If you have that, you will not lose. It's impossible. Hi everybody, this is the second type of man when it comes to the man that she's attracted to. This is not the alpha bad boy lover, this is the man that gives her the cues to settle down and to date. Now the man who gives her the cues to settle down and date, this is a very different type of man. This is the provider type of man. And this is oftentimes the man who's a safe bet for her. Why is he a safe bet with her? Because this man plays with her emotions less than the alpha. You got to realize women are emotional creatures. And this is why oftentimes in their younger years, women will always fuck the bad boys, and then when they get older, they want to settle down with a good guy. Why is this? Because she realizes when her clock is limited that her emotions can't take it anymore. So the guy that she often dates is not the guy who she's most sexually attracted to. Now, she sees good in him. Really, she does. She thinks he's a good guy. However, he's often punished for it sexually. Let me explain. She will fuck the asshole in 20 minutes, but she will make this other guy wait a month before she'll let him fuck her. And she will say that he is quote-unquote boyfriend material just to make him wait. She will make him wait specifically because she wants to trick this man into thinking that she's a good girl. And she does this to appear high value. And she wants to do this like she appears like she doesn't sleep around a lot. And this type of man often doesn't understand logically why he's a better fit in terms of a partner for her, but he has to wait for sex. And we've all probably been there at one point or another when a woman just doesn't necessarily categorize us the right way that we would like. And like I said, women are fucking backwards. You would think that the alpha is the loser that she doesn't want at all, and that this is the type of guy that's going to get her sexually aroused because he's nice and he's good and he's sweet and he's safe. Doesn't work like that. They're backwards. Now, this man that's the provider type is probably very financially stable, and he's probably financially there, and he's mentally stable. Okay, he's probably a good man. And it shows that he's competent and that he has real world value. So he may have money, he may be like the quote unquote the dad type or the old soul, the guy who's really just laid back and very nice and likes to appreciate his time and isn't very sex focused. He may have provisioning power and past success, whether that be in his business or that be just how people treat him. And she's attracted to him because when it comes to child potential and breeding, he is safe. You got to realize that she categorized him as the type of man that would probably stick around if kids were involved. And this man would probably not leave if she had kids with him. So she's attracted to his potential. She's not necessarily sexually attracted to his desire. She doesn't have a lot of desire for this type of man, but she's attracted because this man shows some potential in her future. Notice, this is all about what you can do for her. Women are very self-centered. Now, this man often wants love. This man doesn't necessarily want sex. And he's not the fuckboy alpha type. He has real world potential. Like, he has real world, he's a good guy when it comes to business, or he's a good guy when it comes to being a potential father figure. And I'm not putting this man down either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting this type of man down. I'm just showing you how women will treat each man differently. They will treat each man completely different. Well, one guy will have to wait 10 dates, even though, let's say, he's in shape and, he makes good money, because she's trying to lock him down and give the idea and the notion that she's a good girl to him. But meanwhile, the dude at the club on a Saturday night 2 days later, let's say he took her out on Thursday, there's a very good chance she'll just hook up with a Joe Blow that doesn't give a fuck within 15 minutes. This is how women are. And this man oftentimes as well thinks that women are all sweet angels. Okay, I'm going to give you a story. Now, here's the story that I have. I've gotten very good with women over the years. So we're going to just make up a name. I picked the name Marcus. Okay, so here's me and here's Marcus. And Marcus is fake, so don't try to go think that Marcus is somebody I know or someone I follow on Instagram. If you want to go creep my stuff, you ain't going to find no Marcus. Marcus had a girlfriend, and Marcus's girlfriend was very hot. She was, quote unquote, what I like to say, fire. She had a fat ass, she was short, she had nice tits, she had a great smile. I was very attracted to her, and I wanted to have sex with her. Let's call her Kayla. This is a fake name, by the way. So the thing is that Marcus had to literally chase down Kayla for 4 months. And in that time, she didn't sleep with him once. And she then dated Marcus for literally 2 years. Okay? So Marcus, notice, Marcus got her to be the girlfriend, or excuse me. This should be on my side. Oh, this could be on either side. Anyways, she was a very hot woman, and that was Marcus's girl. He chased her for 4 months, and he got her into a 2-year relationship. She eventually left. Okay, so Marcus then is out of the fucking picture. I see her at a house party, and while Marcus had to wait 4 months, I pulled her that night. One night, I just left with her. And because she was so hot and I was very direct with my intention, like I was giving her the eyes, we were talking, within 20, 30 seconds I was making out with her, and then from there we left. So this is supposed to say direct. Notice I'm not the best speller. Okay, well, Marcus had to wait 4 months. She fucked me within 30 minutes. And not only that, I'm going to tell you guys this because this is how women are. She fucked me until 5 a.m. And she did everything I could have possibly imagined. And while he was in this 2-year relationship with her and probably didn't get to do any of this stuff, I got to do it all within one night. This is women for you. That's the truth. That's how women are. That's how women always will be. And that's just the cold hard truth, you guys. You gotta figure out that they're not all sweet angels. So understand that this man who's the provider for her, this man oftentimes has transactional sex. It's what he can do for her or what he can provide for her in return for her intimacy. And there's less desire here. There's less desire here than with the bad boy. The bad boy gets her pussy wet. This type of guy just has potential and she doesn't want to leave him because of that. So essentially, he trades his value for her vagina. And this is the trap a lot of men get into, is they go after women that don't have a lot of desire for them. What you guys have to do is you guys have to find equal. You have to find women that also have that desire for you that you have for them. Now, she is not nearly as attracted to him compared to the bad boy, but she will settle down with him because he's a safe bet. You have to understand that when it makes sense in a woman's head logically to stay with you, what's going to happen is that she'll settle down oftentimes, but that's not to say she doesn't crave the bad boy. So let me explain settle down, because this is a term I don't really necessarily like. And if you guys use the word settle down, then you have to really make sure what you're saying here. Because if you look at you look at this in two parts. You look up the word settle, and then you look up the word like down in the dictionary. And I'm not actually going to look up these on Google, but let's just use our common fucking sense here because we're all grown adults. The word settle means to agree. If you settled, you came to an agreement. You made a logical agreement to stop. We settled and we stopped. If it's a fight with a man, he goes, we're going to settle this once and for all. We're going to stop the fighting. We're going to stop whatever it is. We're making an agreement that we're settling, that we're stopping this. We're agreeing. If you settle down, this means that you agree down. You agree down a caliber, meaning that you went down in rank. If she wanted the man who's a 10 and she settled, she agreed down, that means she agreed down to the man who's a 6. You got to realize that if that happens, she doesn't have as much desire for the 6 as she does in the fantasy land in her head, which means she will always crave the bad boy 10. You have to understand this. Settle down essentially just means that you're going down. Settle down. You settled, you came to an agreement, and she settled down with you. She didn't settle up, she settled down. I want to make sure that if you guys do settle, I want to make sure that you guys settle up, because I want her to have that desire for you. I hate the term settle down because that's what it says. And this man oftentimes gets burned in the long run. He gets burned because she still craves the bad boy. So this is why you see women often act as sluts in their younger years, and then what they're going to do is they're going to just settle down with the provider type later when they age. And why is that? It's because they realize their time's limited. Their beauty can no longer attract him. Their beauty is no longer good enough to get this type of man, which means they're in a sense, they're used women. They're women that are using you because they see the potential in you. Now, this man also thinks that transactional sex is okay because he's the provider type. And some men are okay with this, but I'm not. Like, I want my woman to have burning hot desire in her vagina for me. If she doesn't have that, I want a different woman. Either that or I got to carry myself a better way so she has it. And women often pull back and play games with this type of guy in their 20s, and then they come racing down to lock him down in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. I do not want you to fall for this trap. You got to notice this is all part of her agenda. Her agenda is sleep around and fuck around and have fun in her 20s with all of her friends and take shots of tequila and think that her shit don't stink. And then she hits the wall around age 30. And from there in her 30s, 40s, and 50s, she's going, oh no, I need a good guy. I need a provider. And then guess what? Eventually, sometimes in the marriage, she cheats on him or pulls back or plays games, and it's all a trap. This is part of her agenda. It's a dual-edged sword. One part of it is telling her to fuck and have fun. The next part of it is telling her to settle down so she's protected. So as you see, women really only look out for themselves. And that's what you probably noticed. And because men love women, women will only love value. I want this to be the end slide, and I want this to sink in. Men love women. Men love women for her beauty and how she carries herself. Women only love value. If you're a valuable male and you have your shit together, now she's going to show you the love and she's going to want to settle down. We don't fall for that. We don't fall for that because we know women will just screw the bad boy, which is why I need you guys being a full stack man. You need to be the type of man that can seduce, and you need to be the type of man that has your shit together. If you have that, you will not lose. It's impossible. Hi everybody, this is another really cold hard truth for a lot of you guys, and the truth is that there's no such thing as good girls versus bad girls. There is just no such thing. And I use this picture because I think it demos it very clearly. Like, the bad boy will bring out the bad girl in her, and the good boy will bring out the good girl in her. Notice, men lead but women follow. And she will break all of the rules for the bad boy, but yet she will make all of the rules for the good boy. With this guy that she fucks in 15 minutes, she will oftentimes say things like, oh, well, he's just hot. But then the good boy, she will go, oh, I don't sleep around on the first date. Well, it's because she's making rules for him and breaking them for this man. Why is this? It's because she doesn't want to be slut-shamed. She doesn't want to appear too easy to this good boy. She doesn't want to seem like she does this often. And it's because her desire isn't there. She doesn't view him as the type of man that she can get comfortable with and sleep with. Now, some men she will fuck ASAP. She will screw them as soon as possible. Why? Why is this? Because they are the type of guys that she feels as if they are comfortable with sex. So this is what I mean. If this man right here He's very upfront. He's very brash. He's very direct. He doesn't give a fuck. He walks, he talks, he acts like he's the man. He's cocky. He doesn't apologize for anything. Some men she will just fuck like that right away, and it's because he's comfortable in his skin. Other men she won't kiss until date 3. Why is this? It's because now she changes everything to fit his category. She goes, well, this is a good boy. I better act like a good girl. I don't want to act too easy. I don't want to act like a slut. So the thing is that women follow, but men lead. You can act attractive. You can act more sexual, but like attractive, it's learned. Like you can learn how to be the type of guy that she'll sleep with. The fact though is that if you keep making these same nice guy mistakes and not asserting yourself the right way, to have more of a swag to you, more of an energy to you, to get out of your head and get more into your body, to think that you're the shit, you're never going to have that edge to you. And you're going to keep getting strung along. Why is it that guys like me, they can just get women and have sex, but then other guys, it's like they can go through 100 different girls and none of the girls want them at all? Well, it's because they're acting the wrong way. So here's what I always say. I always say if she's a good girl, it's because she's a good girl with you. If she is a bad girl, she's a bad girl with him. Women change themselves to fit the bill of the man. If she views the man as the type of guy she could sleep and get frisky with, that's how she's going to act like a bad girl. Now, women categorize men, like I said. This is why once she has an identity of you, it's damn near impossible to change it. And you see a lot of men, they go about their life, they're trying to always fix broken relationships or their past flings, or they're trying to rekindle old flames. It doesn't work. And this is why men who try and mend broken relationships never fix it. It's because she already views you as the provider type. She does not view you as the lover type anymore. She doesn't view you as the type that she's sexually turned on or has desire for you. She just views you as the guy who's getting by, the guy who's just going with the flow, and the guy who will do anything to please her. This is not what she wants. Because once she has you in a category, you're screwed. Especially if you played your cards wrong on the initial approach, you're screwed. Because she already views you as X, or she already views you as Y, or she already views you as Z. The type of guy that she just isn't super into. And if you played your cards wrong from the get-go and you didn't push to the limits, you were beating around the bush, you were the type of guy who was constantly always there, you were never giving her any emotional spikes or any inconsistency, you were too safe. So I'm going to be real with you. I've had church girls that I've went out with, and they've stroked my dick with lube for an hour. I'll never forget it. I was 21 years old. She told me she was a very hardcore church girl, Catholic. All of a sudden, we were making out on the couch for a little bit, and we started getting hot and heavy, and all of a sudden, her hand's down there, and pretty soon she has a bottle she's rubbing me with. She was a church girl. She's a Catholic girl. Now, the next girl was also a Jesus lover that I met one time, and we were out on a date, and she straddled my dick after a party till 5 a.m. I've coached hundreds of men. They all will tell me this. The girl who says that she's a good girl, oftentimes it's smoke and mirrors. It's fake. It's her trying to pull a magic trick on you to see if you'll believe it, to see if you'll buy it, to see if you'll take that bait. And they will do whatever you want them to do, as long as you act like you're the superior, as long as you act like the king. The king rules the queen. That's how it's always been throughout time. And women honestly cannot control themselves. I'm telling you this. They have no self-control. Because they have low willpower, and all are sluts if given the chance. The reason for that is because modern day feminism and the birth control pill is all screaming at women to be promiscuous. And not only that, women are very emotional. And since they're emotional, they cannot control themselves sexually. Sex is very emotional. And when they get around the type of guy that can take control of their emotions, they honestly are defenseless. They will let down every wall. They will let down every barrier because she can't control it. She's a girl. She will not use her rational brain in this situation. She will think all on emotion, and she will sleep with him. Now, obviously, this was all willing. She wanted it. If you decide to have sex, you need to consent. I've said this 100 times. You do not need to be pushing the boundaries so far with women to where it comes off weird or creepy to where you think that they're going to do something or this is forced. You cannot do that. You have to make damn sure she wants it, which is why you guys go slow in the bedroom. Being brash and being an asshole doesn't mean that you try to have sex with her right then and there. It's that you take the baby steps of progression. At first, you maybe is just do a soft kiss or you kiss up against her neck. Maybe then you guys are hardcore making out for a few minutes. Then maybe your hands go down beneath her breasts. Like, you do this so gradual to where if she needed to stop you, she could and she would. You don't try to just have sex right away. That's called rape. That's called not getting her warmed up. You have to get her warmed up. Being a good seducer and being an alpha is going to include warming her up and taking your time in the bedroom. That doesn't mean just because you're a brash asshole or you're the type of guy that likes to have sex and likes to get sex with women, that does not mean that you try to do that and whip out your dick instantly. What that means is you're comfortable flirting, you're comfortable with your sexuality, and you're doing it at a pace that is comfortable to her. Now, you just got to be aware of the good girl. If she says she's a good girl, she's not. She's a good girl with you, which means she's a bad girl with someone else. Always remember. Hi everybody, this module is titled Everything Moves at the Woman's Pace. Now, I need you to really get in the habit of realizing this. Because here's what nobody understands about women is that if you move too fast in any way, shape, or form, this kills her. This kills any sort of sexual desire she has for you. This kills oftentimes any sort of a relationship she wants to have with you, because you got to realize she has 20 dicks in her inbox. If she starts to sense any form of you needing her, if she starts to sense any form of scarcity, if she starts to sense anything that's moving this too fast, she gets cold feet. She gets cold feet because she's emotional, and she doesn't want to commit to the wrong man, because if you look at this biologically, what you have to remember is that if she commits to the wrong man biologically, in the olden days when humans didn't just have a bunch of dicks at their disposal or the birth control pill, their internals were hardwired with females, because if she made the wrong choice with the wrong man, this could be very deadly. If she chose to have sex with the wrong man, this could be detrimental. It could ruin her chances as being a good mother. It would ruin her chances of in the tribe of making sure that the kids were taken care of. And it's all because she doesn't want to fuck up and make the wrong decision. You got to remember, women are the gatekeepers to sex, which means that if women are the gatekeepers to sex, you have to make sure that you are the one who's taking it at her pace. So here's the thing. If you want to have sex with her, even if you are that badass, you still have to have the fine balance of time plus comfort. And that's going to get sex, because this shows a slow escalation, the uphill journey of progression from kissing to touching breasts to grabbing ass to fingering to having sex. It's all in the progression. You can't do one step without the other. When it comes to dating, it's when she wants you to commit. And oftentimes, if you're the bad boy, and let me tell you something, guys, if you are the guy with options, I don't want you to commit to any woman that wants to lock you down. So many guys do this. They'll just commit right away and say yes, they'll date any girl. But at the same time, the dating is only done when she wants it. When she wants it, she'll fight tooth and nail to get it. But if it moves anything faster than her pace, she starts to flee. Now, frequency of seeing each other. It has to be non-needy plus at her pace. You have to be indifferent. You have to not necessarily need to see her, because you got to realize not every woman will view you as a drop dead 10 out of 10. Some women, if you look at me, for example, some women will view me as the provider, or other women may just want to fuck me and they view me as the alpha. I don't care. Every girl is different. Just like you might view a woman as a 6, I might view her as a 10. This ain't one size fits all. This never has been one size fits all. This never will be. But everything will always move at her pace, because when the man pushes for something she is not ready for, that's when she pulls back. This is when she pulls back in the bedroom. This is when she pulls back in the relationship. This is when she pulls back on text message. It has to be done at her pace, very, very gradually. Everything moves at the woman's pace when dating. Hi everybody, this module is titled Use Goods. Now, I'm sure just by the title, if you have any sense of IQ when it comes to women, you can probably understand what I'm referring to. But I'm going to take you guys through this step by step, because oftentimes men only think with their dicks and they do not understand what is use goods. So beware of this. What is use goods? Use goods happens when she will turn down the good guy, or the guy who is kind or who is stable in her 20s, but then try to get with this same type of guy when she's in her 30s, 40s, or 50s. Now, here's the problem with this good guy in her 20s. He typically was not very sexually exciting. He typically was not fun to engage with. He doesn't usually get her aroused, and she doesn't crave him for sex like she does the alpha or the bad boy. Now, what this woman is this woman is typically a slut, or kind of like, a girl who hops from dick to dick or guy to guy in her younger years, and then later wants to settle down. So here's what happens. She turns down the good guy in her 20s, and then she will want to settle down with him and get married to that same guy in her 30s. And now that she had fun with the bad boy, now she craves stability. And essentially, now that she got fucked by 50 dudes the past few years, and now she has a quote-unquote change of heart, now she's just ready to settle down, and now she's ready just to take on that type of guy. And it's not fair to that man. It's not fair to that man how he never got her sexual best, and now because it suits her better, now she's ready to settle with him. And essentially, now that she couldn't get any of those bad boy men to commit, and now her internal biological clock is ticking, telling her to become a mother, well, guess what? Now in her 30s, she wants a family. And now all of a sudden, she wants the good guy provider type. This is so fucked up. Men fall for this. They're like, oh yeah, she's a great girl. What a great wife. They don't understand her sexual past. She was sucking and fucking every single guy at the frat party. This is not the type of woman you want to marry or have a family with. Do not let these types of women fool you. This is fucked up. And then you want to go try to build and commit and build a family or a stable relationship with this girl. This girl has so much emotional baggage from this type of guy in the past. There is no way in hell you will ever get her to turn around. She's gone. She don't want to be saved. Now, the provider never gets her sexual best. He's trapped in the honey-do list category forever. This guy's limited to him buying her Versace purses and typically going, honey, can you get the groceries? Honey, can you pick up the kids? Honey, can you do this? This is her identity of him. Her identity of him is a people pleaser. Her identity of him is the provider. Her identity of him is not the guy who she wants to get plowed by. She's using him. And this is why divorce rate is so high nowadays, is because men do not understand the female narrative in society is specifically set up just to suit them better. It's specifically set up for the guy to lose. She will win in divorce court. She can basically say whatever she wants. The feminism movement is telling her to be promiscuous, and then when she wants to go settle down, now that guy's supposed to be the knight in shining armor. No, we're not operating like that. When it comes to long-term pair bonding, as in like marriage or family, women often just love what you can do for them. They don't love you, they love your validation, and they love what you can do for them. They love that you're a resource. And it's actually very, very sad. And if you don't believe me, see what happens when you lose your job or you hit a rough patch. Chances are she leaves. Chances are she's gone with the wind. Chances are she leaves you for somebody else. Okay, chances are she is gone. And the reason for that is because now she's off to find a new provider. That was never true love. That was never true desire. The fact is that that's her using her double-edged sword of trying to find the sexual option plus the provider to her favor. And when you start to hit a rough patch, you start to realize there was no true love that she had for you. If you hit a rough patch in life when your woman leaves, if she leaves, that's how you know. And this is what's happening to a lot of men is their wives are leaving them because that husband she's not sexually excited with. He is boring. And women that are used goods exercise transactional love. They'll think, honey, well, you can have sex with me if you pay for the house, if you pay for the mortgage. She'll think, honey, well, of course you can have sex for me. By the way, can you go get all these groceries while I sit at home? This is the woman who typically wants to be the stay-at-home wife. This is the woman that is very adulterous and promiscuous in her younger years, and now all of a sudden is the born-again virgin or wants to have a change of heart. You cannot save her. She's gone. I need this to get hammered into your head. This transactional love of you trading your value to get her sex cannot happen. And these women are usually a bit older. They're 30 plus. They're out of their prime, which means they're not as sexually attractive. And because of that, they're using different things to their advantage to try to get men to settle with them. Now, here's the truth. Women are beauty to men, but men are success to women. Women are beauty objects to men. Men are success objects to women. Plain and simple. The more successful you are as a man, the more oftentimes you have women that are trying to get you to commit to a relationship with them. Why is that? It's because they see potential in you. Now, I'm not saying you can't have sex with these women too, but what I'm saying is that she has alternative motives for you. Plain and simple. And she often has a past, but is now fake good girl to him. She's fake. Or she's a born-again virgin. And men fall for this shit. They fall for this shit because we're told in life to have the white picket fence and to settle down. We're told that men are just supposed to get married and be good guys and go with the flow. This is bullshit. Women run the entire dating game right now. And this is the point in the course where I'm trying to get you a little bit fired up and a slight bit pissed off, so that way you stop taking these women so seriously, you stop taking their shit, and you realize that you don't fucking need them. Because if you're a high-value man, these women will be begging to be with you, and now you have your pick of the litter. Now, typically, here's what happens. She had her fun in the younger years, and now she uses you for finances or commitment to finally have children. None of these guys in her younger years she could get to settle down with her. None of these guys in her younger years she could get to actually want to have a future with her. They were just fun to have sex with, and they probably toyed with her emotions, and that's the type of man that she chased. And now as she gets older, she can't handle the repercussions. These women are used goods. And if you want to actually settle down one day, you need a woman with intense desire for you. The best case scenario is when you are the man like this that she gets fired up for and wants to have sex with and is really in love with, and then she actually understands that you have your finances and your shit together afterwards, because that desire was already there. Like the girl I'm currently with right now, she didn't know anything about my career or how I coach men or anything with my finances or anything with that I do for occupation until we really started seeing each other. And the thing is we had excellent sexual chemistry within the first interaction. It was to the point to where I could have been $100,000 in credit card debt and worked at McDonald's full time, and she would have still had sex with me. She had that desire. Now, these women that are used goods, if you want to actually settle down one day, you need a woman with this desire for you. And the best way is to be the alpha guy that she wants to fuck in the beginning, but have her chase and pursue to lock you down. This is the only way to ensure that the sex is not transactional. This is the only way to ensure that she has pure desire for you. Because you want a woman who is your partner. Even if you worked at McDonald's, this is what you want. This is what you need. Basically, like if you do settle down with a woman, you have to be damn sure that A, she doesn't have a past that has 20 different dicks in her at a year. And you also need to make sure that even if you hit hard times, she would be there for you. Because then she's actually having sex with you out of true desire. She's with you because she has a flame for you, not because you're a value acquisition that she can use to better her life. Now, the truth is that the guy she fucked in the past never wanted to have kids with her. It was all pleasure. And because now she can't find joy, she had to settle with that pleasure. So now that her biological clock is ticking, she tries to lock down a provider. She thinks, oh shit, my time's limited. My time's running out. I better find me a good man to provide for me. And I don't want you stuck providing for women that have been very scandalous in the past. It's not good for you or your soul. Now, the reason for this is because that alpha man, that stud, left his imprint on her sexually. You didn't. Your wallet and your pocketbook cannot buy her wetness of her vagina. And I just don't want men in Blueprint to get taken advantage of. That's all this comes down to, is I'm trying to put you guys on some game so you're not constantly at the disadvantage. Be very aware most women are used goods, and you need to have your pick of the litter that's a little bit more in tune. Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to be covering women with baggage, because there's a lot of men that try to play what I like to call, and what a lot of people like to call, Captain Save-A-Ho. They think because she comes from a troubled past, because she has children, because she's a single mom, because she was left by another man, they think that they can be the knight in shining armor. Fellas, that does not increase her desire for you. This is women with baggage. This could be a woman with kids. This could be a woman with emotional baggage from past relationships. This can be a woman with mental baggage regarding her job or her finances. Or this could be physical baggage like debt, or just owning a lot of stuff and trying to come into your household or your domain, or whatever you want to call it. Women with baggage can be extremely deadly for men, and deadly for men's well-being, and I'm going to explain why. I need you to stay far away from them, period. And the reason for this is because it often brings bad energy. It brings bad sexual energy, and it oftentimes ends up with drama with a past lover. Now, here's a situation I see time and time again. You see a man who is single and who does not have any kids enter into a relationship with a woman with kids. And oftentimes what happens is that woman will complain and bitch about how bad the dad was and all of that stuff. But what you have to remember, fellas, notice he was the man who seduced her. At the end of the day, women always complain about the man that imprinted them. Women complain about the man that they're in love with. And just because you're saving her from that past, or you're trying to, does not mean that her desire for you is going to increase. It does not work like that. You would think if you're generous, women would appreciate it. It does not work like that. You got to stay far, far away from them. They're going to bring bad energy and bad drama into your life that you don't need to deal with. Now, here's the thing. Women with kids, I'm not saying you can't have sex with them. If you're a man who's trying to just brainwash the woman into sex and you're going to engage in cheap sex, like, okay, I get men are going to do that. I can't control that. I can't control what you're going to do. Women with kids, if you want to engage with them, sometimes that's fine, but beware about getting too close with them. I need you to keep your distance and stay away. Unless you have kids also and you're a bit older. If you're a man who's in his 30s, 40s, or 50s and you're in Blueprint and you also have kids, yeah, your dating pool is going to be limited to probably other women who have past relations or past experiences. That's just that's how it works. That's how it is. You have to understand that. But here's the thing. If you're a single guy and you have your shit together, like your body's on point, your looks are on point, you're going to the gym, you're improving your life, you're on your mission or your purpose, you have every right to find a woman who is a little more flawless. You have every right not to settle with a woman with baggage. I sure as hell would never date a woman with kids, and the reason for that is because I know that last man she was already with left her imprint on her. I will never have the same leg up that man had. Now, here's why. You're going to notice this always. She's going to complain about him. She's going to say what a piece of shit he is. She's going to say what an asshole he is. She may call him a deadbeat dad. She may say that he has no money. You know, she may say what a piece of shit he is, or he has a criminal record, yet he's the one who seduced her. He's the one who imprinted her. He's the one who got her pregnant. He's the one that she got wet for. He's the one that she still complains about to this day and cannot stop talking about. I hope you understand this. I hope you understand that women are backwards. I hope you understand that the woman that plays with their emotions the hardest is the one that will always leave his mark. This is why women are so fucked up in society, is because men only qualify them on sex. When men only qualify a woman on sex and then pull back, it damages that woman. She becomes colder. She becomes numb. And now you have women that just all they want is sex and all men want is sex, and what's happening is it's leading the culture to kind of be destructive. In order to fix this, men as a whole need to be better. I advise you to stay away from these women, period. The reason for this, the bad boy, one more time I'll say it, that got her wet enough to seduce her, even enough to make her come or have kids with him. He hit it raw and he came and he impregnated her. Now you're stuck taking care of kids that are not yours. So it's funny how her words just never match her actions. Like, she says how much she hates him, yet he seduced her panties off. You're going to see this a lot with women. Like, if women are so backwards and are so in tune with their emotions, like they are not logical at all. Here's what I mean by this. You often get women who are in abusive relationships. So I'm just going to write abuse right here. And they will make a million reasons. Like, let's say this guy is in jail. Let's say this guy beats the shit out of her and gives her a black eye. I'm going to circle this eye right here just because there happens to be an eye right here. Like, you can kind of see this and you can think about that this is a black eye. Let's say he kicks her ass and he's just a total piece of shit. He's even been to jail. He sells drugs, whatever. He's abusive. Let's say he's mentally abusive. He's emotionally abusive. He's physically abusive. What does the woman always say? She always goes right here. This is what she's going to say every single time to these. She goes, I just couldn't leave. I just can't. This is what she says. The reason why she can't is because she can't get this man's validation. This is what she's in love with. Some of you might say this isn't real love. And that's true, it isn't. But women are backwards. This is the man that imprints her. This is the man she can't get enough of. This is the man that she will still talk about. And the thing is I would consider myself more of an alpha guy. I know how to seduce women. I know how to be with women. I was with a woman like this once for a period of time. She was with a man that would beat her physically. She would still talk about him. She would still fantasize about him, even though when she was with me, I could never be the alpha in her eyes. I could never get this status to her, this alpha. The reason for that is because I would never, I'm not going to hit a woman. I'm not going to go to jail. And I don't think you should hit women. If you can get angry enough to have a woman move you off center so much that you're going to hit her, she moved you off center emotionally, yet that's who she is still wrapped around due to the fact that he left his mark. She views him as the top dog. And then every other man beneath that, she views as not strong enough. I'm telling you, these women have emotional baggage. Also, I do not want you guys to ever take care of kids that are not yours. Once again, she's using you as a provider, and the sex is transactional. She's using your value and your resources and your money to take care of another man's kids. It's fucked up. That man should be paying for his own kids, not you. What that says is she got to have fun with the bad boy. Now it's your turn as the provider to take care of her kids and her used goods. It's bad. And guess what? It's going to fuck you up mentally because you build a bond with those kids too. And guess what? When she decides to leave and she's on to the next dick, the kids are gone too. When she decides to leave, so are those kids. And now you're double screwed because now you're heartbroken because you lost kids that you built a bond with, and you're heartbroken because the woman left you. This is what happens. Women will push their kids off to provider type men and take pure advantage of them. And it brings us back to our point about investment. I told you that investment is the number one word in the dating dictionary. If you can make a woman invest in you, you're going to have the most success. Well, guess what? When you're constantly investing in her children and the only thing she's giving you on the table is some vagina, guess what? You're losing this investment. You have much more invested into her than she has into you. And since sex means nothing to a woman, she can walk away at the drop of a hat. The reason for that is because she has an inbox of 20 guys that all also want to have sex with her. You have to understand this, man. So here's what happens when you do this. You invest your time into a woman and your energy and your money and your resources into her and into kids that are not yours. But guess what? Like, you're not their dad. So do not play Captain Save-A-Hole because guess what, dude? She does not want to be saved. And what are you actually doing this for in return? Some pussy? Some vagina? You realize you can get this anywhere. Women are willing to throw this out all over Instagram. As long as you can talk and you can move your words the right way, this comes easy. I mean, if you're on your purpose, you're going to have women hunting to lock you down. Do not fall victim to this trap. You're smarter than this. You can't make a hoe a housewife. You cannot buy her love. It does not exist. And there's no such thing as relationship equity. I kind of want to draw this out too. What is relationship equity? Relationship equity is specifically when men think that they can do something that gives them greater buy-in investment into the relationship. So they're going to do things that they're going to do this. They're going to think if they can take care of kids, TK, take care of kids, or they're going to think honey-do list, HDL, honey-do list. Or if they say things like, oh, I'm going to go change her tires to be mean, or to be nice. So I'm just going to put change T for change tires. Here's what they think. This is what relationship equity is. They go in a man's head, since he's logical, he thinks, oh, I can take care of her kids, I can do a honey-do list, and I can get groceries, or I can even change her tires and I can show her how good of a provider I am to take care of her. They think this is going to equal love in her head logically. No. It does not work like this. Women are not logical. There is no such thing as relationship equity. It does not work. The more you put into a woman, oftentimes the more she will spit on you. So stop doing this. Stop thinking you can save her, bro. She does not want to be saved. Most of these women do not want to be saved. Now, the fact is this. The fact is that most women cannot deal with the consequences of their own actions. They will have sex with that man. They will make the bad mistakes by screwing the bad boy, screwing the one who was fun with. And guess what? They will make every excuse in the book why it was the right thing for them to do or why it's not their fault. They will never own up. They don't take consequences. And they don't actually assume any authority in their own actions. The reason for this is because women follow. She was following that man. And she doesn't know what to do. Women are lost without a good man in their life. So if you are actually high value, do not let these women push their problems onto you. There's no such thing as relationship equity, and you need to be very aware that there's women with baggage out there that will totally fuck your life up, whether that be through divorce court, whether that be through past relationships or kids. Like, just dude, look out for yourself and stop thinking with your penis only. Buying women gifts, do's and do nots. Before we get into this, I want to ask you fellas something. Why is she not buying you gifts? Why is she not buying you a $600 Louis belt? Why is she not buying you a brand new turtleneck sweater? Why is she not buying you a rad leather jacket? Okay? Buying women gifts, do's and do nots. Here's what you got to know. It's very simple and straightforward. Buying women gifts does not raise her attraction. Like I've said before, attraction cannot be negotiated. And here's why. The more investment you put in, the more she will realize that she does not have to do very much to keep you. Because the more your investment goes up, the more she realizes that you are hooked like a fish on a lure. And when she has you hooked like this, you will never leave. You won't get off because you're addicted to what's between her legs. And when you got addicted to that, when you're addicted to her smile and her smell and the way she looks, the way she talks, dude, you're fucked. Like, she has you under the spell. And when she has you under this spell, you have to understand that you can't get out. Which is why I don't want you guys to get trapped in. Use your finances to advertise your business. Use your finances to buy a nicer apartment. Use your finances to better your education so that way you can make more money or you can adapt and you can live more comfortably. Men who have to buy Louis V are doing this because they're not Louis V themselves. I've told you this before. The Louis V method is very, very simple when it comes to women. Now, for those of you that don't remember in week 1, here's the Louis Vuitton method. The Louis Vuitton method is this. What comes with Louis Vuitton, a purse, in that woman's eyes, is it comes with status, it comes with respect, and it shows that she can afford it. Okay? She wants all of these things. She wants the status and the respect and the style that Louis V brings. Notice, Louis V didn't have to give her a sales pitch. Louis V didn't have to do anything. Louis V just has enough brand recognition. Meanwhile, the mall kiosk clerk that's selling Michael Kors has to use game, he has to use approach, he has to use pickup to convince her to go with this. But in the back of her head, she still wants Louis V. Fellas, you guys just got to make yourself Louis V. If you make yourself Louis V, she's going to want you regardless. Okay, she's going to realize that you have a lot of value. That's all there is to it. Most men have no value. Attraction cannot be negotiated. You cannot buy love. And it shows scarcity often. And remember, women do not value relationship equity. And I already showed what relationship equity is in the past module, so I'm not going to do that again. But if you're buying her things, it shows you're scared to lose her. If you're buying her a lot of gifts and stuff, it shows that you need her to like you. You need her to like these gifts in order to exchange for her love. And it's not an equal exchange. Relationship equity does not exist. Now, guess what? You can't have transactional sex. Okay, you can't have attraction if there's transactional sex, if it's purchased. If you're purchasing this, you're essentially giving a transaction. You're saying, here, let me buy you this for in return, I get your sex and your intimacy. It doesn't work like that. Because guess what? She fucked him 20 minutes after meeting him, and you had to drop $1,000 on a Gucci belt. And guess what? She probably still left. I've seen this happen. I've coached a guy that this happened to him. He didn't understand why. And I'm like, well, here's why. She sensed all this scarcity. She sensed that you had a lot of relationship equity invested in her. She got turned off by it. And guess what? If you purchase gifts, you can purchase gifts if it's mutual and it's special. Like, let's say you've been seeing a woman, she has high desire for you, it's a birthday, it's a holiday, something like that. Okay, great. Get her a gift. But only do this if she was the one trying to lock you down. If you guys are in a relationship and you've had something mutual to where, like, there's mutual agreement that you both like each other, you know, she tried to lock you down, you weren't completely sold right away, you made her work for it, and she still showed you that she loves you, yes, by all means, do what's normal. If it's her birthday, go get her a scented candle or something. But it also has to be for good behavior. So you only get these gifts if she's been loyal, if she's not playing games with you, and if it's Christmas or something or a birthday, by all means, spread some love. But you do not need to be doing random gifts like this to assume your value to make it seem like she should like you. It doesn't work like that, fellas. Hi everybody. Now, you might be wondering why this module is a little more zoned in like this one-on-one feel. You might also be wondering why specifically this is black. And it's because I wanted some way, shape, or form to differentiate this module from the other modules. Okay, how do you win in a relationship in today's culture as a man? No bullshit, step by step. How do you make sure you don't get taken advantage of? How do you make sure that your woman still chases you even though she has 30 options? How do you do this? Pay attention, take some notes. There's a reason this module looks a little different than other ones. You must be the jack of all trades. You need to be working on yourself 24/7. Before we get into this, there is no time in life for spectator sports. There is no time in life for weekly nights out beers with the boys that aren't doing anything with their lives. You need to be surrounding yourself with adequate people that are trying to level up, that also have a very strong sense in masculinity, that are on the verge of breaking through to their next big breakthrough, whether that be in their business, that be in their career, that be in their purpose. You need to surround yourself with positive masculine energy. If you're surrounding yourself with people that do drugs or that smoke pot or that drink alcohol, there's no way you're going to start to develop the jack of all trades, because here's what the jack of all trades has. Remember, it's not Kobe Bryant against all of the high school players that he used to play against. It's now Kobe Bryant against everybody else in the NBA, which is, I mean, rest in peace, Kobe. But the reason why he was so great is because he put the time in. Okay, you got to have the looks, you got to start to develop the money, you want to have some status that shows like you're on your mission. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to be a celebrity, you don't got to be Leonardo DiCaprio, but you need to be working on yourself at all times, because the most sexiest thing to a woman is a man who does not put her at the center and is a man who has a purpose and a mission beyond her. Now, here's the thing, women will never love a man the way a man loves a woman. You have to work to keep improving. And women stick around when they see their man is going somewhere. The girl I'm currently with, or every girl that falls into my life, what do they see me do? They see me work on CZ Fitness or on Masculinity Blueprint or on my men's coaching business 24/7. And because they see that, they're hooked. They go, wow, this man's going somewhere. This man probably is the provider type. I want to try to lock him down. Do I let all these women lock me down? Absolutely not. I don't want every woman's energy, and you can use that against them. Once you are a guy with provisioning or status or options, you can literally use their biological instinct against them. You could lead a woman on, you could play with their emotions, you can do anything. Because this is what women will do to you. So start to develop yourself so you have options. Do you think Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt is going to be walking around hoping to God that a woman texts them back? Fuck no. Fuck no. Be the DiCaprio of your life, man. So what happens in the looks? When it comes to the looks, fellas, you got to get your body dialed in. You got to be lean. You got to have low body fat. You want good strength and very good muscular development. You want to look strong and masculine. This is so key. Masculine men always have that V taper. This comes from having a wide back and wide shoulders. Now, what you can do if you do not know how to get this V taper look, what you can do if you don't know how to actually get this look that cues for masculinity, is you can essentially do this. I'm going to show you specifically what you can do here. Now, what you can do is, I want you to go right here, and I'm gonna hyperlink this down below. Now, what you can do is you can go to CaseyZander.com. If you don't know how to get this lean look, and you go to /schedule-time. What I want you to do is I want you to book a call with me to speak one-on-one personally with me. Now, in this, what you're going to get is you're going to get an amazing one-on-one session with you where I'm going to actually identify your body type, because you look at some of the people that I've coached over the years. I started off coaching men and women, but guess what happened? What happened was I was actually able to start to really develop a knack for men's bodies, and within a very short amount of time, I'm able to put lean muscle on men and make their physique very, very lean. And if you look at how I got myself dialed in, it was night and day difference. Now, some of the men I've recently coached, if you see the transformation these men are going through, I mean, this is happening within just a few months. And all of a sudden, this man goes from average and kind of skinny fat to all of a sudden being built like a fucking warrior with abs. And it doesn't take much. What it takes is a few months to get dedicated and dialed in. Now, how I actually train everybody is what I do specifically is I take them through a step-by-step process where I dial in your nutrition, I dial in all of your coaching, and I make sure I can get you looking ripped, looking lean, looking angular, and looking masculine. This isn't a sales pitch. What this is me showing you how I can help. And it's making me give you that extra cue for masculinity when it comes to your specific alpha look. You want that V taper. Okay, you're going to need that V taper. It helps with getting women. Now, if you can get the body dialed in and get that V taper, it's so key. You get wide back, you get wide shoulders, and it gives her cue for sex. The second is money. Money is going to give you real world value, and it gives you confidence and buying power. And it lets you bank/stack some cash to feel secure in yourself. Here's the thing. If you guys have 50, 60, 70, 100 grand in your bank stash right now, you know damn well that you wouldn't have to show up for work for probably the next 6 months, maybe a year for some of you. And no, this will not directly help you get women, because I've coached many men who are rich who still struggled, but guess what it does? Money gives you the ability to carry yourself with more confidence because you're in control. Not your boss, not her. Like, you're the man with options now. It relieves stress. It makes you less emotional. Men constantly worried about finances oftentimes get very stuck in their head because they're scared that they're in scarcity mode. They're scared that they're going to lose. They're scared that they're not going to have their shit together, and it keeps them stuck. The next is status. Okay, status helps you seduce women because, like I said in the beginning, they are like cats. Status trumps all. Status makes other women want you. The thing is that if you're A$AP Rocky, if you're Drake, if you're Leonardo DiCaprio, you could gain 100 pounds and women would still want you forever. Why is that? It's because you have higher perceived value. And men with status oftentimes have the whole package. And guess what? When one woman wants you, oftentimes many more do too. This is just the nature of the beast. Okay, they're like cats. They want what they can't have, and they want what everybody else wants. They're followers, not leaders. This is why I've said this whole time. Women follow, but men lead. Now, throughout this is where you should be taking notes, because I'm about to give you these 10 steps to winning a relationship once and for all. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is exactly how you do it, okay? Step 1. You need to develop your seduction. You need to be the alpha that can seduce, meaning you need to be able to pull her or start to develop chemistry or sexual tension with her within 15 minutes if need be. Imagine yourself being the hot frat guy at the Cancun spring break the Cancun spring break trip that she just wants to sleep with when she meets him at the party. Okay, this man has the tools in his tool belt to pull if need be. And what this is this comes from having that masculine edge. This gets her to view you as a sexual type that is alpha. And this gives her a rush, so that way she actually wants to be with you. She actually craves you. She actually desires you. You have to be able to have this. You have to have the alpha cues for sex. This keeps her desire high. Step 2. After you've had that desire, maybe by this point you've had sex with her, maybe you haven't, what you're going to start to do is you're going to start to develop some chemistry or some narrative with this woman. This is where you show some depth as a man and maybe get to know her a little bit more. And it shows that after you have already aroused her sexually, that there's more to you. There's more to you as a man, there's more to your chemistry, there's more to how you carry yourself and how you can speak. And it shows that the chemistry is a bond and that the feeling is mutual. And the tension is there, but we're not necessarily pursuing for a relationship. That's what you have to understand. Maybe by this point you had sex with her, there's some desire, but you're not trying to lock her down. You're just enjoying her company. You guys are getting to know each other. She still views you as sexual, and it's going great. So build some chemistry. This is step 2. The third step, and keep in mind, fellas, this might take 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Okay, before you really have a woman, for some of you, like I've had this myself, I've had this happen in 3 weeks where I start having women pursue me for a relationship. The better you get at it, the quicker it comes. Number 3, you need to develop some connection. Okay, because if you can develop connection after you've built chemistry, what happens is that she will start to think that you guys are meant to be. Okay, because she will be confused out of her mind that she can't figure out why you do not directly validate her of the connection. You don't directly validate her saying how beautiful she is, how much you like her, and you don't acknowledge the fact that this connection is even there. You're developing it, but you're never giving the verbal cues that you're into it. You're never directly saying it. Essentially, what I'm telling you to do is I'm making sure that as you develop connection, your words do not match your actions. And like I said, we're still keeping it casual. Now, this is where her attachment will start to be built. Okay, and this is from your sex or your masculinity. If you're dropping dick off in this woman 3 nights a week, 2 nights a week, and it's real good and she's loving you and you guys have a great connection and you're not pursuing her for a relationship, you're keeping it casual, this is where she's going to build that connection. This is some serious mind fuckery that you can do to a woman. Number 4. Step 4, you keep seducing her over the course of weeks. You keep giving good sex or good chemistry. This is going to start to make her fall in love. This is also going to make her feel like a woman. Now, if you're religious, here's what I'd advise, because obviously I can't give coaching to everybody in every situation through this keyboard. I can do it to you on the Q&As, but I can't give I can try my best to give blanket statements to everyone, but here's what I'd say. With number 4, if you're religious, just go as far as you find morally ethical. Maybe you find it ethical to get a blowjob but not have sex. Okay, stop it there then. Go as far as you allow yourself. And she will love that you take control. She will love that you take control of the situation. You are very upfront about your desires, but you don't necessarily try to pursue to lock her down. You're okay with seeing other people. You're not asking her who she's seeing. You're not asking her if she's going out or having girls' nights out. Hell, you may not even be asking to see her every weekend. You may not even give a fuck. By now, her emotions are haywire. The reason for this is because in the beginning, she saw you as the player, and she knows that you have player capabilities. Now she started to see you as a lover. And by now, she sees you have real-world value. She's unlocking all of these hidden gems about you. The key to mastering a relationship is when she views you as alpha sexual seductive first, And she starts to pursue you for that relationship and those provisioning habits later, because the thing is if you're a guy who has those provisioning habits, now she doesn't want to leave, but guess what? Desire was still there in the beginning to make her want you sexually. Number 5, let her start to get to know you. Let her see that you have benefits. Let her show that you have provisioning value. Let her see that you're the one who was seducing her in the beginning, but since you also have your money together and you also are on your mission or your career or your purpose, what this does is it starts to show that you're a full stack man. It shows that you're a man who can play both sides of the field. Meaning she knows if you went to a bar on a Friday night, you could still pull a woman, but she also gets a chance to actually see that, hey, this guy has some serious potential to him too. She's going to be fighting tooth and nail to get to you because you're a full stack man. Number 6, demonstrate competence to her now. Let her see that you are smart and able. Maybe you're good with handiwork. Maybe you can build something, okay? Maybe you're good with cars. Maybe you're good with business. You know, a lot of females, when they get to know me in my life, they watch me run ad campaigns for $500 to $1,000 a day on the internet. That's one thing they find attractive. They're like, holy shit, this guy can do real world value. There's going to be some women when they see that you can build an entire like tool chest out of certain materials within like 24 hours or something. Maybe you have a crazy craft. Maybe you're really good at something. When you demonstrate real world competence, what she sees is she sees that you have a lot of value. Women love value. Because you were the one seducing her in the beginning, but now she's having this aha moment. She's like, oh my God, so this guy's ripped and he has his health together and he fucks the shit out of me and he's able to build this connection with me and he even acts like we're a thing and he acts like he likes me. She's going to go, why hasn't he asked me to be his girlfriend? Why does he not show that he needs me? What the fuck is going on? By step number 6, she wants to start to lock you down. This is the most important part. When you demonstrate competence to a woman, it shows you have a lot of value. Because remember what I've said, men love women and women love value. Number 7, this is some mind fuckery. I need you to pull back, keeping focus on your purpose. Okay, because by now you probably built a little bit of an attachment too. You probably like her, you're probably having good sex, you like kissing her, you like holding her. That's fine and dandy, but guess what? The more investment you start to show, the more she's going to play games. So now you're going to pull back. She now sees how strong you actually are. She now sees that you do not need any woman to feel enough. She sees that you truly are the man that gets whatever you want because you do not fall victim to societal narratives. You're not the type of guy that needs to settle down right away because you know you have options. And you're stoic and non-emotional to the core. For those of you that don't know what stoic means, the definition of stoic is being able to endure pain or suffering without complaining or becoming emotional. She sees you have this ability. And this is the part where she goes, did I just find a perfect 10? And she will try to start to lock you down even harder. She's going to think you literally are the jack of all trades. Now, number 8, this is where when she does start to ask you these questions about, hey, when will we be dating, blah, 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 this is when you start to explain to her what you need in a woman. Notice you're not settling. You're making her fit your agenda. And she will follow because you have literally have her brain that hooked. And by now she will probably do anything to please you. She will be sweet, she will be feminine, she will be intimate, she will be caring, she will be almost like a mom. And this is one of the things I tell my women right away. I say, listen, I need you to be girly. I need you to be flirty. I say, I need you to help me. If I need food or something, I need you to take care of me a little bit, because here's the thing. When I'm slaying the dragon, working all day, I'm going to need a woman that's sweet to me. And I say this word for word. I say, listen, if you ever pull back, if you ever play games, if you ever do any of this, I have no problem leaving instantly. So don't even try this with me. That's exactly what I say. Now I just outlined the boundaries. I told her what I need. And if she messes with that, I'm leaving. And guess what? Women usually don't test the waters when they see their guy is straightforward and doesn't fuck around. So that's what you need to do. And by now she's going to say, so when are we going to date? What are we? What do you view us? Well, I'll tell you. Her compliance is going to go up. And guess what? Your care has to go down. As her compliance goes up, you can't just reward her instantly. You have to pull back. Because you got to remember, women love turmoil. The guy that leaves the emotional imprint on them is the guy that always wins. And when you give her emotional spikes or emotional instability or seem disinterested, she feels as if you're the prize. And by now she's beyond in love. You're basically all she's going to think about. And yes, by now in this conversation, this is all pure tactics. And by now she's probably going to be asking you to directly be your girlfriend. She's going to be saying, will you be my boyfriend? Can we be exclusive? She will have these words come out of her mouth multiple times. Or she'll give you the ultimatum saying, I can't see you anymore unless I have commitment. This is when you totally have the upper hand. Number 10, she's going to drop into hot pursuit. And she will do everything to lock down her perfect 10 man. She'll do sex, she'll do favors, she'll give love, she'll give intimacy. She will legitimately take care of you as a mother damn near and crave you. And yes, by now this is pure tactics. Notice, we didn't pursue for the commitment at all. This was all her. Women are better at it, fellas. Let them do the pursuit. Write down this step by step in a notebook. Hang this up on your wall, hang this up on your fridge. If you manifest this single step by step, 10-step tactical pullback, tactical way to carry a relationship, these women will never go cold on you. This is purely upper hand material. And guess what? By now a true badass was formed. She viewed you as alpha/sexual, but saw all of these traits that you had that was so much greater beyond sex. And now she wanted more. And now you have the upper hand in the relationship forever. If you decide to date her, now you have the upper hand. And most men go soft here after they commit, so don't do that. I think you guys know that by now, but once this woman fell in love with you, keep doing all of the things that she fell in love with, because women will pull back when they see that you no longer actually do the things that she was attracted to in the first place. So please don't make that mistake. And that's it. Those are my 10 steps, specifically how to really make sure that you have the upper hand and are winning once and for all. Hi everybody, you know what happens when I turn this screen black. When I turn this screen black, we're talking about a very, very important topic. And what you need to remember through all this is, as bad as I make women sound, women are not all that bad. In fact, I love women. I love hanging with women, I love staying with women, I love making out with women, I love everything that comes with women. I like to be the ladies' man. And once you know exactly what they're attracted to, you just have to use it to your advantage. Instead of bitching and complaining, like Blueprint is about adaptation and understanding things for how they are, not bitching and complaining about women. Now, women aren't all that bad if you're just doing things that attractive men do. So here's what I mean by this. I'm going to show you exactly why you can never slip up and why masculinity is purely suffering. And you have to be able to suffer a little bit and sit in the fire before you can actually have this woman's love or this woman's intimacy. This is what I mean. Masculinity is suffering. You guys don't get this. You must sacrifice day in and day out. What I mean by this is, while all of your friends drink and party, you work and you stack your cash. And while they get beers after work and watch the latest MLB or NFL football game, you're in the gym building a better man that's stronger and more physically attractive. While they watch Netflix, you're reading books and growing as a person spiritually and mentally. And while they use apps to communicate, you speak to women like Romeo. Because think about it. How much easier is it to speak to women if your brain is not bogged down by booze, you have no stress because you've stacked your cash and you've put in your work, and you've been reading books to grow as a person? All of a sudden, speaking to women and flirting is literally the easiest thing in the world. Why is that? Because you're not doing what the 99%ers are doing. So I say this before, if you want a 1% life with women, if you want a 1% life in your masculinity, then why don't you do what 99% refuse to do? Okay, your woman can never see you slip up, man. And the minute your woman catches you off guard, the minute your woman watches you lose your grind or your swag, what you have to realize, fellas, is that she is back to seek a man who's stronger again. And you will now be hit with the pullback, and I do not want you guys to lose your swag. You got to stay on your shit 24/7. This word that I'm about to tell you is called hypergamy. Okay, this is a word that is very, very common today in dating culture, and many men are figuring this out. Hypergamy is when her internal clock tells her to stray from a current man and find a higher value mate. You have to remember this. Women are always internally biologically hardwired to cling to the strongest mate possible. And they do this by default because they're biologically hardwired. It's a defense mechanism. And women do not love or value any weakness in a man, and the reason for that is because they are the weaker link biologically. A man is stronger, a man is more competent, a man is more able, and they know that deep down. That's why the player or the bad boy that just doesn't care and is strong and is a badass, she melts for. And you can brainwash yourself to love to work, because self-improvement kicks the shit out of any other man. It makes you walk, talk, and feel different. When I say brainwash yourself to love to work, I'm at the point to where if I go sit at a sports bar for 20 minutes, I'm like craving to get back on my shit. I'm craving to get back to my computer and start building my projects again. I'm craving to be a man of value. And it's because I brainwashed myself to tell myself that is the only way I will have value and show my worth in this world. It's the only way I'm going to feel secure. You got to remember masculinity, sacrifice, and suffering. And guess what? Because you're putting in that work and sacrificing, you're now able to have the joy and the pleasure that nobody else in life is able to have. And it's because you took those steps to put in that work. So we win by being the best option 24/7. Because guess what? Now when we're with that woman, we're fitter and we're stronger physically and mentally more than most men. We have better testosterone levels because we're fueling our body the right way and we're healthy. And guess what? We make more cash than most due to the fact that we actually have options. And guess what? Since we're human focused and not cell phone focused, we can actually flirt in real life. This is called being a full stack man, and this is called having every single option at your disposal. And we win by being the best option 24/7. She's going to have a hell of a time finding a mate better than you because you're already putting in the work day by day to be better than everybody else. It's damn near impossible. Love is a competition. You have to realize this. So I need you guys to slightly develop a bond with her. Because you got to remember, women don't stray from masculine men doing everything right. They flee from men doing everything wrong, which is why you must stay on your grind. The more on your grind you are, the more masculine habits and dedication and traits you're showing. And you're proving to yourself you can level up and that you're a man of value, but not only that, you're showing her just how damn tough you are in this world. That's what women love, is strength. So like I said, women aren't all that bad. Blueprint's about adaptation, not complaining. Point blank, period. Hi everybody, this module is titled Watch Her Actions. Okay, so you see a lot of men do this. They play Captain Save-A-Ho with women, and they oftentimes believe that because of the woman's hardships, that she's a sweet angel, or because if she was mistreated by a man in the past, that she's no longer promiscuous or anything like that. What you need to know is women often lie, and women are very, very backwards. And they will say one thing and they will do the exact opposite. And I basically covered this throughout the whole series, but I want a direct module on this. What you have to realize is that it's not her fault. She will try her absolute best to think logically, but she's also a woman. And women are emotional. Her pussy holds all emotional ties. And because she can't control this, she can't control how she feels with a man logically, it has to be done through her emotions. And to be honest, fellas, what you have to realize is since men lead and women follow, it's really men's fault that women have gotten this way. Because what men do is men qualify women on sex and how fast they can get the woman to have sex. And then what happens is when the woman's promiscuous, they say women are sluts. Well, the problem with this is like if women are sluts, then the men are the slut creators. Which is why I always say as men, we have to be better than the current status quo. If you want a better result, you need to be better than all of the men only qualifying women on sex. If you want women to treat you better with more respect, you need to be doing something different that most men are not doing. Because guess what? Her actions show what she's actually about. So when women often say, oh, don't worry about Tom. Tom's just a friend on my phone. Me and Tom just like to Snapchat. Or when she says things like, I'd never sleep with a man on the first date. I'm a good girl. It's all bullshit. Do not believe this. Don't believe her words. Watch her actions. If she's constantly Snapchatting Tom on the down low, there's a good chance she's probably wanting to fuck Tom. Or she just uses him for attention. It's hard. You got to try to make that deciding line for yourself, but that's why you got to set the boundaries if you're in a relationship with a woman, for what you will and what you will not put up with. That's just key. The more straightforward you are about how you carry yourself as a man, the better. And just don't fall for it. Okay, watch her actions, do not listen to her words. A very short module, but a very powerful one.